Alright guys, some of you have expressed interest in purchasing my Jeep, so I wanted to make a video for you so you can use it in conjunction with the driving videos that I've already posted. That way you can kind of give your an informed decision on whether or not you want to buy this, whether or not you want to travel to take a look at it any further. But anyway, it's a 1983 Jeep CJ8 Scrambler. It's a long wheelbase version of a CJ7. It has 6 inches of lift. It's got 37-inch Goodyear MTRs that have a ton of tread left on them. They'll probably last several more years, probably 3, 4, 5 years, depending on how often you drive. It has a Bestop tinted window fullback soft top. This is about 3 years old, so it's got some blemishes. It's got, a little bit of stitching kind of coming undone there. In the corners there's a little bit of stitching that's kind of a little bit finicky, but overall it's in good shape. It doesn't leak all over the place or anything. There's no big holes or tears. It's pretty easy to put on and off. It works well. This Jeep has 1/4-inch plate, genright and poison spyder customs armor, and with stainless steel hardware all over the body. It's hard as a rock. Really good custom stuff. Rocker guards, steps, tube fenders on the front, all extremely strong and well built. I really like that stuff. It really protects the Jeep well. It's got a 4-inch exhaust all the way back. I guess the part that you guys are really most interested in is the diesel conversion. This Jeep and the motor both have between 140 and 150,000 miles on them. The Jeep has about 144. The motor has about 150,000 miles on it. It is from a Frito-Lay bread truck, and it is a Cummins 4BT turbodiesel with a Denny T stage 2 fuel pin. I've got the pump set to where it's about 155 horsepower and about 400 torque at 1700 RPMs. So it accelerates much better than the old inline 6, and instead of getting 8 miles per gallon, it gets about 30 miles per gallon if you cruise at about 62 to 65 miles an hour. This Jeep will go about 85, but I don't enjoy doing that. 65 is a good cruise speed for me on the highway in a old Jeep on 37s. It's got a whole set WH1C turbo with a K&N filter, the baby H1C. It's got an Optum red top battery. It has never failed me. I did this swap 3 years ago and I've never had anything go wrong, except I did overtax the AMC Model 20 axle. It now has brand new one-piece axle shafts from USA Alloy, and new wheel bearings and new brakes all on the back. It also has new brakes up front. It has a trussed axle housing with welded tubes. It works very well. It's very strong now. It's comparable to probably a Ford 9-inch in strength. This Jeep's paint job and stuff like that, like I said, it's a daily driver. There's some blemishes. You can see that it's not a brand new top, but it looks pretty darn good. The paint is kind of like when you look, when you're 10 feet away, it looks flawless. But then when you get close, you can see some wear and tear and some poor prep work from the previous owner. But I can assure you there is no active rust on this Jeep right now. It looks great, and it has looked this way for the last 3-4 years that I've owned it. It works very well. It pulls hard. The doors are pretty good. They're not great, but you can see there's some little blemishes on the doors. You could probably use some weather stripping. The only things that are incomplete on this Jeep are I don't have windshield wipers installed on it. The wipers and the motor I have in a box sitting in my garage, but they did not work very well, and they would flap if the wind was going really hard. So I just use Rain-X, and that works a lot better. And the radio is not hooked up to any speakers because I tend to leave the top down quite a bit during the warm months of the year, and the weather takes its toll on the electronics. Everything else in this Jeep is all mechanical. There's There's no computer, there's no electronics on it. So really that's just there to look pretty in the dashboard. I typically just use my iPod or my iPhone and some headphones, because that's a lot easier to hear anyway going down the road in a big huge diesel Jeep. These are neoprene seat covers. They look very nice, they're very comfortable. I've got matching one in the back on a Bestop Trailmax fold and tumble seat. It's got all 4 seat belts. The seats that are underneath this are the original CJ seats, and they're in pretty good shape. Not perfect, but pretty good shape, and they're very comfortable. It's got relatively new carpet. It's a little bit dirty. Here, I'll show you in the back. It's probably got a little easier to see. Relatively nice carpet. Like I said, it's got a little bit of dirt on it. It's my daily driver, and I carry my tools and stuff with it. A lot of people wonder why in the world I would put nice carpet in a Jeep. And when you do a Cummins 4BT conversion, you need every little bit of sound protection you can get, and it makes it a lot cooler, a lot warmer when it's supposed to be, and a lot quieter going down the road. So the carpet is real nice to have. Let's see what else. I guess at this point you can crank this thing up, and I mentioned the paint has a few blemishes and chips and stuff, just like any other daily driver. It looks great, but it's not 100% perfect, and I wanted you guys to have an accurate idea of what you're purchasing. There's also, I would say the same about the body. It's in really good shape, but there has been some fiberglass patchwork over the years from the previous owner. You can see where some rust got at a little bit of the undercarriage, and they patched it. They patched it over, and then they did rhino liner, which is what's under the carpet. This Jeep holds together fine. I don't want you to think that it's falling apart and rusting. It certainly is not. I just want you to understand that it's not a brand new $3,000 replacement tub either. Alright, at this point I guess I'll go ahead and crank up the engine, let you hear it, and show you good oil pressure and all that stuff. It cranks right up. Whether it's cold or 110 degrees, it runs at the proper temperature and it runs very well. As you can see, I just cold started it. It's got about 60 pounds of oil pressure. It usually runs between 50 and 75 pounds of oil pressure. Alternator works great. No leaks, nothing bad. Runs like a champ. It's been very dependable over the last 3 years and works great. Thanks for checking it out.